There is a hidden science behind confidence, influence, and human connection. Most people move through life unaware that their body language, tone, and microbehaviors are constantly sending signals that can make others respect you or ignore you. Today, we will uncover the real psychological principles that shape presence, communication, and emotional control. This is not motivation. This is not opinion. This is measurable human science. Number 1. The calm entry effect. The moment you enter a room, people form an impression of you in less than half a second. This is called thin slicing, a psychological mechanism where the brain judges confidence instantly. Most people rush. They walk fast, breathe fast, move fast, and without realizing it, they send a signal of anxiety. But when you enter calmly, with slow, controlled movement, your nervous system stabilizes, and everyone around you subconsciously reads you as confident, grounded, and in control. You don't need to say a single word. Your presence speaks first. If you're learning something new today, keep watching. It gets deeper. 2. The triangle look. Eye contact can be intimidating, but science discovered a method that makes you appear confident without creating pressure. It's called the triangle look. Instead of staring directly into someone's eyes, you shift your gaze gently between 3 points: left eye, right eye, mouth. This keeps your expression calm, activates trust through micromirroring, and prevents the awkward intensity that makes people uncomfortable. It's the perfect balance between connection and control. If this is useful so far, wait until you hear number 3. It surprises most people. Number 3. The pause of authority. Most people rush when they speak. Their sentences collide, their breathing shortens, and their words lose weight. But confident communicators do the opposite. They use the pause of authority. Before answering a question, before giving an opinion, before starting an important sentence, they pause for just 1 second. This tiny silence does 2 psychological things. It signals self-control to the listener, and it gives your brain enough time to choose clearer, more powerful words. A short pause can transform you from sounding uncertain to sounding intentional. If this makes sense to you, number 4 will change the way you speak forever. Number 4. The open chest signal. Your body communicates long before your words do, and one of the strongest signals you send comes from a part of the body most people ignore: the chest. When someone feels insecure, their shoulders collapse inward, protecting the chest and compressing the lungs. This posture makes the brain release stress signals and lowers vocal resonance, making the person appear smaller, quieter, and less influential. But when you open your chest, lifting your sternum slightly and allowing your shoulders to relax back, your entire nervous system shifts. Your breathing deepens, your voice becomes fuller, and people subconsciously see you as more confident and emotionally grounded. Open chest is not arrogance. It's physiological clarity, a simple adjustment that changes how others feel in your presence and how you feel inside your own body. If this already feels powerful, number 5 will show you a trick most people never notice. Number 5. The soft smile effect. Human beings are wired to scan faces before they listen to words, and one of the strongest signals we read is the presence or absence of a smile. But here's the science. A big, exaggerated smile often feels forced, triggering discomfort in the observer because it activates the brain's threat detection circuits, designed to identify false intentions. A soft smile, however, subtle, relaxed, barely lifting the corners of the mouth, creates the opposite effect. It signals emotional stability, low stress, and genuine warmth. Functional MRI studies show that people who use soft smiles activate mirror neurons in others, making them feel safer and more open, without even realizing why. You don't need to look overly cheerful. You just need a calm expression that tells the brain of the person in front of you, this interaction is safe. If this feels simple but powerful, Number 6 introduces a deeper psychological mechanism. Number 6. Match their tempo. Every human conversation has a rhythm, a natural tempo made of breathing, tone, speech speed, and subtle movements. When two people's rhythms match, the brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical responsible for trust and social bonding. This is why great communicators don't overpower others with high energy, and don't sync the room with low energy either. They adjust, mirroring the other person's pace, by just 10 to 15%. If someone speaks slowly, you soften your tone. If someone is energetic, you add a little spark. Not copying, aligning. This creates instant familiarity, because the brain interprets similarity as safety. It's one of the quietest, yet most powerful ways to make people feel understood in just seconds. If this makes sense, number 7 reveals a psychological tool almost no one uses correctly. Number 7. The tactical silence. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill every gap, explain every detail, or answer before they finish thinking. But silence, when used intentionally, becomes one of the strongest psychological tools you have. After someone finishes speaking, wait one more second. Not 2, not 5, just 1. That single moment of quiet creates a pressure shift in the interaction. The other person's brain begins to search for meaning. Did I say enough? Is there more they want from me? And that's when people reveal their real thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Tactical silence isn't manipulation. It's giving space for truth to surface. Use it wisely, and conversations become deeper, clearer, and far more honest. If this opened your eyes, number 8 will change the way your voice is perceived. Number 8. Lower your voice at the end. Your voice has a structure, and the most important part of that structure is not how you start speaking, but how you finish your sentences. When someone ends their phrases with a rising tone, as if asking a question, the brain interprets insecurity, lack of clarity, or emotional hesitation. This is called upspeak, and it instantly weakens your message. Confident communicators do the opposite. They end their sentences with a slightly lower tone. Not aggressive, just grounded. This downward inflection signals certainty. It stabilizes your breath, deepens your vocal resonance, and makes people feel that you know exactly what you're talking about. A small change at the end of your sentence can change the entire emotional impression you leave on others. If this is clicking for you, number 9 will reveal a body language secret most people miss. Number 9. Foot pointing psychology. Most people focus on the face during conversations, but the most honest part of the body is actually much lower. The feet. Your feet reveal your true intention before your words do. When someone is engaged, their feet naturally point toward you. But the moment they lose interest, feel uncomfortable, or want the conversation to end, their feet shift away, usually before their face even reacts. This is because the feet are controlled by older, more primitive parts of the brain, regions responsible for survival and escape. So when you see someone's feet angled toward the door, it's not rudeness, it's instinct. Understanding this silent signal helps you read the emotional temperature of any interaction with surprising accuracy. If this is helping you read people better, number 10 will help you earn their trust faster. Number 10. Name plus reason equals instant trust. Human communication becomes more powerful the moment you combine two simple elements, a person's name and a small reason behind what you're saying. When you use someone's name, their brain activates the self-relevance network, a system that instantly increases attention and emotional openness. People feel seen and more willing to listen. But when you add a short reason, even a simple one, the brain relaxes its resistance. This is because humans are hardwired to trust explanations, even if they're small. For example, James, can you help me for a moment? I need your opinion. The name hooks attention The reason lowers defenses. It's a subtle psychological formula that turns ordinary communication into meaningful cooperation. If this is already helping you communicate better, number 11 will change how people respond to you. Number 11. The 70% rule. One of the most powerful communication habits is also one of the simplest. Speak 70% as much as the other person. When you talk less, you give the other person space to express themselves, and the brain interprets your silence as confidence, patience, and emotional maturity. People feel valued when they are heard, and that makes them trust you more. By speaking just a little less, you naturally appear wiser, more thoughtful, and more in control of the moment. And here's the science. When people talk more, they release dopamine, the reward chemical. So without realizing it, they associate that positive feeling with you. The 70% rule isn't about saying less. It's about creating a conversation where the other person feels important. If you like understanding human behavior, number 12 will make your conversations instantly deeper. Number 12. Mirror the emotion, not the words. Human connection doesn't come from repeating what someone says. It comes from reflecting the emotion behind their words. When a person shares something exciting, your energy should rise slightly. When they speak softly or seriously, your tone should soften too. This emotional mirroring tells the brain, we are aligned. It activates the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotional bonding. People feel understood, validated, and surprisingly comfortable around you, without knowing why. You don't need to mimic gestures or copy their personality. Just match the emotional tone. It's one of the fastest, most natural ways to create psychological connection in any interaction. If this resonates with you, number 13 explains a trust signal humans have relied on for thousands of years. Number 13. Show your hands. Long before humans used language, we used our hands to signal intention, friend or threat, safe or unsafe. Today, that ancient instinct still shapes how people perceive us. When your hands are visible while you speak, the brain of the listener relaxes. It reads you as transparent, trustworthy, and emotionally open. But when your hands are hidden, in pockets, behind your back, under a table, the limbic system reacts with microscopic tension. Something feels off, even if the person can't explain why. Public speakers, teachers, and leaders use hand visibility intentionally to appear more honest and approachable. You don't need dramatic gestures. Just keep your hands in view. It's one of the simplest and oldest trust signals in human communication. If this makes sense to you, number 14 will show you how to control the reactions on your own face. Number 14. Control your microreactions. Your face reveals more information than your words ever will. Tiny movements, called microreactions, signal emotions before you're aware of them. A raised eyebrow can show uncertainty, tight shoulders can reveal stress, and a clenched jaw can expose irritation, even when you stay silent. But here's what confident people do. They relax these microreactions intentionally. Before speaking, they soften their forehead, release the jaw, and drop their shoulders just a little. This signals emotional stability and makes others feel safe around them. When your microreactions are calm, your presence feels grounded. People listen more, they interrupt less, and the entire interaction becomes smoother and more respectful. Controlling the small things changes the big things. If this is opening your eyes, number 15 will transform the first seconds of every conversation. Number 15. The first 3 words rule. In every interaction, your first 3 words shape the entire tone of the conversation. The brain uses these opening seconds to decide whether you feel confident, uncertain, or distracted. When people start with filler words, well, maybe, they weaken their presence instantly. But confident communicators begin with a clear, intentional phrase that grabs attention. Phrases like, great to see you, Here's the idea. Let's begin now. These openings signal purpose, direction, and emotional clarity. The first 3 words act as a frame. They tell the other person how to interpret everything that follows. Start strong, and your entire message becomes stronger. If this is helping you understand presence, number 16 will strengthen the way you respond to others. Number 16. Don't rush your answers. When someone asks a question, most people react instantly, not because they know the answer, but because they feel pressured to respond. This rush creates nervous movement, shallow breathing, and weak communication. Confident communicators do something different. They pause, just a short breath, enough time for the brain to process, and choose a clear response. This tiny moment of stillness sends a powerful message. I think before I speak. It signals emotional stability, maturity, and confidence. And here's the science. Taking even half a second before answering activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for reasoning. You speak smarter, slower, and with more control. A calm answer is almost always a stronger answer. If this resonates with you, number 17 will make your conversations feel more genuine. Number 17. The compliment plus observation combo. Most compliments disappear as fast as they're spoken. They sound generic, predictable, and often insincere. But psychology shows that there's a simple way to give a compliment that actually lands. Combine it with a small, personal observation. Instead of saying, "You look good today," you say, "You look good today. You seem more relaxed." This adds context, depth, and emotional relevance. The brain processes this as authenticity because you're noticing something beyond the surface. It shows awareness, tension, and emotional intelligence. People remember these compliments. They trust them, and they trust you. This technique strengthens relationships, softens conflicts, and creates warmer, more meaningful connections. In seconds. If this feels powerful, number 18 will change the way people read your intentions. Number 18. Control the first hand movement. Before you even speak, your hands reveal how confident or nervous you feel. Most people make their first movement too early. They gesture before forming a thought, sending a signal of impatience, anxiety, or lack of control. But confident communicators do the opposite. They speak first, and then move their hands after the first word or phrase. This slight delay creates a rhythm that feels intentional, grounded, and emotionally stable. The brain of the listener interprets this sequencing as leadership behavior, communicates certainty without force, and calmness without passivity. This small adjustment changes how people read you, from reactive to deliberate. Your hands no longer betray your nerves. They reinforce your presence. If this is helping you understand presence, number 19 will show you how to close every interaction with strength. Number 20. The inner voice shift. Confidence doesn't start with posture, tone, or technique. It starts with the voice inside your mind. Most people move through life carrying an inner dialogue built from fear. What if they judge me? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts are not facts. They're survival patterns built by an anxious brain. Confident people use a different voice. They shift from fear to curiosity, from "What if I fail?" to "What can I learn from this?" from "What if they don't like me?" to "Who can I become through this moment?" This shift activates the prefrontal cortex, your center of logic, resilience, and self-control. When your inner voice changes, your presence changes. People feel it, and so do you. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is quiet. It is simply the mind choosing a better story. If this transformed the way you see yourself, imagine what you'll learn in the next video. Stay curious.